couple of months later, I met up with Phil, so we ended up doing an investigation in the Wirral, and it was a police station, and that was obviously a community centre. So as we got in there, there was active straight away. There was movement. We heard a woman like up the stairs. Phil was doing the initial test to walk around to show everyone, and when I had this device called a Zoom, you can hear someone following him, and as soon as he comes down the stairs, we said you had someone following you, and he went, "Are you kidding?" And I went, "No." He said, you had someone following you." So I've done initial tests. Phil and Kaylee ended up going to the next room, and I was in the hallway, and Felix Spicer was like literally speaking about, like, you know, he was sorry and stuff like that from the last time I was there. But this one was like a different entity at the time, and we all done initial test. I done an S box in the spirit box in the hallway, and then as soon as you got down to the basement, that's when the situation was a bit weird for us. So we went down in the basement. I took pictures and stuff, and I was talking, and then as I was talking, I literally said, "Are you behind that door? I can see you behind that door." Straight away, Phil provides this really amazing evidence. He records straight away, and literally you can see someone behind the door moving from left to right, and it just stayed behind the door. And I'll never forget that investigation. It was so active. It was unreal, and the evidence that Phil provided from Spooky Blinders, it was mad, and it was just great to collaborate with Phil again. Back in the 50s, the flat we live in used to be a butcher's, and ever since we moved in, things started to happen. My partner, like, before she moved into the property, she never had any paranormal dreams, even in her mum's, and as soon as she got into this property that we live in now, she was having paranormal dreams. She was saying that basically one day she came into the living room and there was a wicker chair in the centre of the living room. She also said there was a set of stairs going from in the middle of the living room all the way out. Phil come to mind on the obviously day of investigation, and he just come in straight away. I explained to him beforehand and say, "Listen, our flat can't be haunted when it wants to be, in a sense." So he had this device called the empath, and straight away he says, basically he turns around and says, "We're going to be staying here tonight." The entity turns around and goes, "With respect." So we had to do the investigation. The next day he explains to me and says that his mate was on the couch and he was wide awake, and so was Phil. He said they couldn't sleep there because his mate seen a dark entity coming from the kitchen straight into the bathroom, and then he said that they heard scratching on the wall. But when we've been in there ourselves in our own home, we do hear scratching, and obviously there's been times where the bin lid flipped down by itself, and obviously there was nothing in the bin, and we just live with it now. To be honest, it's gone on for so long, we're that used to it, and there've been time and time again where my partner does have paranormal dreams, and the spirit was like, "I'm letting you know that," in a sense. So this next investigation I did during this year, January, was one intense investigation I ever done in my life. When I done the police station, I was quite surprised when I looked through the pictures, and when I was in the basement, you can literally see someone sitting down in the corner, and from my knowledge, I've been there about 4 times, and the only person I know that haunts that place is a person called Felix Spicer. He was jailed there in 1880, and for me to see these pictures and to go through them, it's just remarkable. And to this day, that basement will ever keep haunted. Like, this place, I always love to go, especially doing an investigation, because it's got so much history to it. Bear in mind, it was 18th century that Rake Lane was founded, and when me and my partner went there in the daylight, we heard a little girl saying my partner's name. As soon as she turned around, no one was there, and it was only me and my partner there. So we had like lighthouse keepers there that are buried there. Also, there is a story about a groundskeeper that actually used to live in the mansion, basically across to it, and apparently he sets a haunted graveyard in the night time. So when we done an investigation there many years ago, when I first started coming to the Wirral, there was a gravestone. Well, because I heard down my ear the third one through the DVP, I was thinking, third one? What do you mean third one? And then ends up being, because as soon as we turn this corner, ends up being a pilot for World War One. But that's not all. Apparently, there was meant to be witches there at the time. The oldest gravestone that I've seen there is the year 1010, and it's, to this day, it's still haunted. As we came up to now the library, it used to be I think it was a mansion at the time, and when my partner took photos, you literally see like a little girl holding my hand and pointing at the same direction where that camera is now, and I'll never forget that. Makes you wonder as well, you know, why was she pointing at that building? Was she trying to tell us something that day? Of like, go over to there? But as I done a previous video on Rake Lane by myself, I felt really kind of unhinged, where something was following me. And when you're on your own, that's how you know things started to get real. And when I done the video to this, you literally seen a photo. It should be a grave, probably a gravestone. Turns out it wasn't. It was a full-blown spirit back in the 17th century in old English clothes, and it was just one of them of, wow, they will let you know they were there, they are there when you're not paying attention. Wallasey Town Hall was used as a war hospital back in 1916 to 1920. Previously doing this video and speaking to the members of staff, they actually said there was a morgue in the place. So when we done the investigation there, we kept on hearing like footsteps around this area, and when we were walking around, like, we ended up by the back again, and Rianne says to me, my partner, and goes, there's something there, like I can literally see there's something there. And then as my partner put a phone to like the second window, you can literally see a full-blown spirit looking out, and then just walks away. The next day we went into the town hall and we explained what we saw. We also showed them the footage, and the reply we got back was, you just captured a 109-year-old spirit. So I asked and said that, is there any more hauntings on this place? The woman said that there was a caretaker who had the apartment at the very top of the town hall, and he unalived his wife in the bathtub, and then he tragically unalived himself. And to this day I still go over to the town hall, because I know there's lost souls there that are wanting to get passed over or wanting to communicate with us. And this is why I love the paranormal, and I will never stop.